This is the new hit song by Drake and The Weeknd. It blew up over the weekend with 500,000 streams on Spotify, 10 million views on TikTok. But the thing is, it isn't actually Drake or The Weeknd. It was made by a random dude on TikTok who used AI to make the whole thing. And the song's actually pretty good. The music industry is starting to freak out right now. I don't know if you've heard the Kanye covers on YouTube, but they're kind of amazing. And it's not just the music industry. AI is going to cause the biggest shift we've seen in our lifetimes. Entire industries are going to be turned upside down. Jobs will be replaced. The way companies operate will change. The entire nature of work will change. Some industries are going to accelerate in productivity and profitability, and others could come to a standstill. Today on Dumb Money, we're going to reveal the stocks that we think are safe from the AI revolution. We are Dumb Money.
Three friends who turned $30,000 into $30 million using nothing more than Twitter and a zero commission trading account.
The suits that work on Wall Street, they call those people the smart money. That's not us.
Our goal is to help level the playing field for everyday investors.
We are Dumb Money.
Hey there, Dave here along with Chris and Jordan. We are Dumb Money. Welcome to Dumb Money Live. Before we go any further, we have to, we're going to talk about AI stocks. But we first need to talk to the almighty AI that is the YouTube algorithm. We need to feed it some likes, so please do take a second. Find the thumbs up button. It really does help us get this video out to more people, and it will help, I guess, you see more videos like this in the future. If you like this, hit it. And it also will prevent you from being fed like AI-generated Drake covers all day. Chris, Jordan, some fun facts for you. Goldman Sachs is predicting 25% of jobs in the U.S. are going to be affected by AI, and of those, 20 to 50% of their workload can be replaced by AI. They're saying worldwide, AI is going to disrupt more than 300 million full-time workers, and that within the next 10 years, productivity will increase. They're estimating that the AI revolution could increase annual global GDP by 7%. That's all I know.
Well, more important than that, Dave, AI is going to completely disrupt every single industry category. We are going to have massive winners, massive losers, just an insane opportunity to be an investor. Like, if you could, all you have to do is just see it unfolding and just put your chips behind the winners. And I think, like, everybody's spending so much time focused on, who is going to benefit the most from like the actual use of AI. And I think that's the wrong approach because everyone's already there, right? And that's why NVIDIA is trading up so much. And by the way, we were there, like dude, NVIDIA is one of my top holdings right now, right? But we invested in NVIDIA the second that ChatGPT was launched. And man, what a run that's been. But how do we go one level deeper? And it's not just about how AI is going to help companies, but what are the cultural impacts of AI and how, like, what are the secondary hits on companies that nobody's thinking about right now that are going to benefit massively? And that's, well, I want to hear what Jordan has to say, but that's kind of where my pick is coming from today.
So I misunderstood the assignment. I thought we were going for stocks that would not be disrupted in any way, shape, or form by AI.
Well, that's fine too. No,
but in a good way, right? Not negatively impacted.
The opposite.
No, but Jordan, that's totally fine because my pick initially was like it's not going to get impacted by AI. But at the same time, not only is it not going to get impacted by AI, but because of everything that's happening with AI, I think that's a massive tailwind additionally to my stock pick. So I'm just saying I'm just adding a bonus layer on top of the theme of the episode for my stock pick. Nothing against what you're about to say, but go ahead. What's not impacted by AI?
Bonds. So my picks, I've got two for you. If you'd like to spread it out, I'll get TLT and EDV. So these are longer duration bonds. United States Treasuries, baby. You get like, I think the ETFs give you about 3% return. You're playing the rate game right now.
So TLT is the iShares 20+ year Treasury bond. Is that what we're looking at here?
Yeah, the TLT. Yeah. So basically, what you're doing. So the game here is that you're betting that rates go down, right? So as we go into recession, the Fed cuts and rates go down, and your TLT or EDV positions make money.
Okay, so for you, Jordan, it's not just the yield then on the treasury. You actually think
No, who cares
that
about the
there's a
yield? You're not. Hopefully, you're not going to be in it long enough to worry about that. I mean, so kind of the thought process here is that we go into recession, or that we're already in one, and the layoffs start, the whole cycle kind of starts to play out, and the Fed is forced to cut rates, right? And so that's kind of that's the play.
Do you so bring it back to AI? It do you actually what impact do you think AI, and I know it's not going to happen in the next 90 days, but over the next 18 months as AI actually begins to impact every industry sector, how does that impact rates? Have you thought about that? Is that a tailwind on your trade as well with bring rates back down? I
No, I
mean,
think it has absolutely nothing to do with it, right? So I think, I mean, like we're at a place right now with super high interest rates. The government's trying to slow down the economy, and
okay,
so
but
basically
what
it
I'm
has
saying is
nothing to do with
if
it, right?
we start to
It's a
see
totally separate issue.
if we start to see they have to be related in some way. If we start to see um, jobs go away to AI in the next 18 months, because I believe
Yeah,
2024 we're going to start to see that. There's no doubt in my mind. Um, that would probably be additional pressure, right, on rates coming down if we start to see the jobless rate go up, right?
correct,
Wouldn't that
right.
wouldn't that
And
aid
so
your
yeah, so
trade?
basically what happens then is that the government cuts to stimulate the economy, right? And so
Yeah,
basically all you need is a recession for the bond trade to play out. Right?
yeah,
It's not a, and look, it's not equity, it's not a company. And people are like, yeah, they're bonds, not stocks. But I mean, it's an ETF, right? So it kind of it trades like a, trades like a stock.
yeah, and if anything, AI would benefit you in that thesis, right? Because
Potentially,
AI
right? So like, where, I mean, unless you're talking about like, that we go into some sort of huge growth mode cycle again. Um, Prematurely because
keep
of this,
rates
right? And
up,
so,
yeah.
like, all of a sudden, you get inflation back, and you get a massive hiring spree, and all of these things because people are trying to arm up their AI. Then maybe that hurts it. And so,
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see the growth from AI hitting right away. I think that that's going to lag. I think initially it's going to be people
yeah,
becoming more efficient. Don't you see the efficiency plan AI being first before the growth phase of it, right?
yeah,
Because if you're a company
Yeah.
like I'm
I see companies
sitting
like Amazon just getting more efficient, you know, and but both in the algorithm that serves things up, but also in you think of AI autonomous robots doing their packing, which they're already way ahead of a lot of other companies. Um,
Yes, and also the concept, Jordan, and this is your world, right? Like the one person dev team, like as opposed to the 10-person dev team. Like I sat across from a developer at a dinner a couple weeks ago, and he was telling me that he sees like a 10-to-1 ratio in terms of productivity shift, just even initially what he's seeing with using a lot of the tools now. He's
hmm
like, I could definitely see kind of teams of 10 turning into teams of one that are proficiently utilizing a lot of these new tools to code better and faster and check their work. And if that's the case, I mean, I feel like we're going to go through an era of efficiency before we kind of see the real growth drivers that will be generated from AI. I don't know. At least that's what it seems like to me. Like customer service, you can probably
yes.
downsize your customer. Like all these different workforces, you could just get more efficient. So yes, that will kind of save them money,
right. But I mean,
but it's
yeah.
not.
So, are we there yet? Though I know we're really close. Like I know that some of the tools that have come out are making it super close.
It's really close, right? Like when you think about social media and content like a lot of these are people heavy jobs, right?
Yeah.
They're just lots and lots of people. I'm not saying that we'll see a lot of it this year, but I feel like 2024 definitely feels like a year where companies start making decisions to leverage all the AI tool sets that are being built and distributed this year and tested this year to actually start to become more efficient in their businesses. I could
Yeah,
see
sure.
that.
What you've got to answer is, so they just become more efficient and are able to pump out more work, or is their workload stay the same and then they start laying people off?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know. Well, okay. Do you want mine, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here it is. Okay. So let's just start off by saying that we all know what's happening with AI and social media. We've seen the filters, right? Everybody is beautiful now. Like everybody can look great on social media. And the beauty
We haven't
standard,
figured those filters out yet. We still are just raw in an
everybody
HD,
but us.
but
Everybody but us. Okay, so here's the thing. I think I know that due to AI and due to filters, the standards are going to continue to climb for beauty, right? Like people are just raising the bar for how they think they should be perceived and how they are perceived through their digital persona. Now, the problem is they have to try to catch up in real life, okay?
yeah.
So I told you guys in 2020, this was the decade of the woman. Okay. This is the decade of the woman. All right. One of my biggest stock picks of the decade so far. Okay. Novo is all about these semaglutide injectables, which allows you to lose 15% of your body weight. One of my biggest trades of the decade so far. Okay. Who's driving that trend? Women. Okay. Who's driving the beauty trend, the wellness trend, the skincare trend? Women. Okay. Now, listen, I'm going to read this to you. A survey conducted by Taluna found that when asked to choose between improving their wardrobe or improving their beauty routine, 45% of women chose improving their beauty routine, okay? While only 38% chose improving their wardrobe. Now, take a look at Ulta stock, okay? Ulta, the world's largest beauty, wellness, skincare retailer, is killing it right now. I'm going to read this quote from their CEO. The whole store is hot, okay? Ulta Beauty COO, Keisha Steelman told Yahoo Finance, okay? But I would say one of the categories that we're really seeing that's coming through COVID that's really stuck is wellness. Okay, so everybody already knows this. Ulta stock is already run. Obviously, Ulta is a company that's AI resistant. What is the next layer? What's the thing that's getting me really excited? There's a company called InMode. Okay, InMode is as close as you're ever going to get to a magical fountain of beauty. Okay. Like this is as close as you're going to get. I know it sounds insane. They are the gold standard in aesthetic medical devices that utilize microneedling and RF frequency, okay, radio frequency to conduct non invasive and minimally invasive skin tightening and skin procedures. So, if you were to look on Google Trends right now and type in the word med spa, we've all seen what's happening over the past few years. Med spas are blowing up. What is happening in these med spas? Women are going in and spending hundreds to thousands of dollars to have a nurse practitioner utilize one of these InMode machines, okay, these RF machines, these microneedling machines, to essentially do non-invasive and minimally invasive plastic surgery that doesn't really hurt. It works in a matter of like days. Okay, so you see the results in days, and this is the future. The results are absolutely stunning. These machines that are sold by InMode are a recurring revenue business model for the company. Every time that a woman goes into one of these med spas or goes into their dermatologist or their skin esthetician and gets one of these procedures done, a fee gets paid back to InMode. So it's not like you buy the machine and you just get to use it as much as you want and you get to make all the money. They make money every single time this machine gets used. I think this is the next Ulta, okay? Ulta is where people go when they want to spend tens to hundreds of dollars. InMode is the machine that benefits when you level up to hundreds to thousands of dollars per session. And I'm telling you guys, the technology is only getting better. InMode is the gold standard here. They have patents that protect their technology that they're known for, their RF technology, for the next 10 years. Okay? And this is going to be a mega growth sector the next few years. And nobody's talking about it.
This is not a stock I'm familiar with at all. I'm just now hearing about it and just starting to do research. When I look at their stock chart, I see that they already like ramped up, blew up from pandemic until right around the beginning of the year of 2022, and then they just took a nosedive. What happened there?
So Dave, like everything else, people got overexcited about their technology and they came down along with everyone else in the market. But I'm telling you something right now, this company is cash flowing. They are profitable, okay? They have tons of cash. I think they have zero debt. The biggest complaint right now from investors is that the management team comes off to some people a little bit shady. They kind of comp themselves a little bit too aggressively in terms of stock compensation. That would be the big negative. I'll tell you this right now, guys. This technology, if you go on TikTok, right? If you actually read the reviews, once someone does it once, they are locked in. And you have to get this done essentially every year. And the first time you get it done, you have to go through multiple sessions usually. Okay. And
what is the brand? When does the brand of the actual thing that you're having done to you? Is it just any med spa that licenses InMode's technology? What is that technology called?
Well, okay. So the technology is called, the machine is a combination of microneedling and radio frequency technology. So what it does is it allows, it penetrates deeper into your skin as opposed to laser treatment. You're probably familiar with the laser treatment people have been getting for 10 years. The laser treatment is not as safe. It could be kind of really uncomfortable. It can go bad. Okay. This is actually safer. It's more consistent and the results are meaningfully better. Now, here's where it gets really interesting though, guys. Here's where it gets really interesting. There is a new technology called exosome. So exosome therapy. Do you know what this is, Jordan? Like, I feel like you might. It's
No.
kind of a little bit related to mRNA. So basically, exosomes are essentially bubbles that come off of stem cells, and it's the part of stem cells that allows everything in your body to kind of communicate with each other. So it's a revolutionary technology. They're taking these exosomes, and there's dozens and dozens of research companies that are using these exosomes for curing cancer, right? For if you have a sports injury, NFL players are paying $5,000 to $10,000 to get these exosomes injected into their shoulder, injected into their body to help expedite the repair process. Well, guess what else exosomes are being used for? Completely revitalizing your skin, your tone. You would be shocked if you saw what this stuff does. It is the fountain of youth. I've never seen anything like it before. It costs thousands of dollars, but you basically apply it to the InMode machine, okay? And when they go through the micro needling and the RF technology, it also applies exosomes, all right, to underneath your skin. And what that does is it basically regenerates cells inside of your skin. Like it's almost like reversing an age. Okay. Right now, the people that are getting this done are mostly athletes for sports and celebrities. Celebrities are starting to get this done right now, right? I think we're a matter of months away before this goes mainstream. It is expensive, it's thousands of dollars, but the results are so phenomenal. I think you're going to see this go viral in the next 12 to 18 months. And the biggest beneficiary, I think, from exosomes are InMode machines, because the InMode machines kind of go hand in hand with this application. Currently, there's no publicly traded company that you can buy that actually distributes exosomes to ethnicians or to med spas. That's not a trade that's possible, but you can invest in InMode. Full transparency, I did purchase InMode. I just opened my position this morning. We're not financial advisors. This is my position. This is my thesis. Poke holes in it, guys. Go on dumbmoney.tv/Discord and let's debate it. Do your own research. But again, Dave, did you go on Google Trends and see just med spa?
Yeah, that was
This is a trend that's not going away, guys. I heard yesterday that there is a med spa deep in the suburbs here in Dallas Fort Worth that is generating $80,000 a month just in semaglutide injections. That's just one
I
thing that
believe
they're
it.
doing.
Yeah, for
Okay?
sure.
This is the future. If this is the decade of the woman, this is what they're spending their money on. They're spending their money at Ulta, and the next level up is they're going into their skincare doctor, they're going into their local med spa, because as soon as someone that they know gets this done. By the way, same thing with semaglutide. As soon as a woman sees one of their friends losing 15, 20, 25, 35 pounds just by doing some subcutaneous injections for a couple months, they're immediately doing it. That's what led us to our Novo investment. Same exact thing here. If
Yep.
you see how amazing the results are on this, it's almost it's miraculous. It's wild.
Well, do you know what else
I
is
just looked, there's
miraculous?
actually like 8 med spas within 5 minutes of my house.
And this is how you invest in them, Jordan.
Yeah.
Because I can guarantee you right now, Jordan, that every single one of those med spas, maybe not everyone, most of them probably have an InMode machine. And a vast majority of the things that they're doing, they're having to pay InMode every time they do that. So InMode has, just to give you an idea of the market share, they have 8,000 machines out, 8,000 doctors right now that have their machines. I think somewhere between 50 and 70,000 doctors currently have the old school laser machines. Okay. So they're barely scratching the surface. Now, their machines are expensive to use. That's expensive for customers, but this is the future. This is where it's headed. Okay. Now, they also have a division where they're using their RF technology for ophthalmology, okay? For like dry eye and lots of issues around the eye. They already have approval in Canada. They think they'll have approval in the US by the third quarter this year. And that's a separate machine that uses the same technology. They're using this technology, guys, for like numerous applications. So skincare, like belly tightening, like it's all over your body, and the more you're using it in your body, the more expensive it is. In fact, getting back to the exosome therapy, there's something called the P shot and the O shot. Do you know what those stand for? Can you guess? Come on, come on. The P shot and the O shot.
You tell me.
So the P shot and the O shot is what's happening in a lot of these med spas. They're actually injecting platelets, okay, from your body into your genital region. The P shot for men, the O shot for women. And it's revitalizing that entire region by actually growing kind of new kind of connections and blood flow in that region. Now, exosome therapy is the next level up of that as well, right? So this actually is going down to every single aspect of your wellness, from the way that you look, right? The way that you feel, to your your like sexual dysfunction. Like, this business is huge, and if you get someone into the med spa maybe to lose weight, to get semaglutide injections, do you think that's the only thing they're doing in that med spa? Absolutely not. As soon as they get in there, they're having a consultation, and they'll learn about the semaglutide, and then they'll also learn about, hey, do you know that I can get rid of all those sunspots on your face? Do you know that you don't need to have plastic surgery now? We have these machines that actually, in 45 minutes and 2 days of discomfort, and you could have essentially a third of what the plastic surgery would look like. And you could do that for a few $1,000, and it's completely non-invasive or minimally invasive. Like, this has so much virality to it. And then you're going to start seeing this on TikTok, and we're already seeing it all over TikTok, quite honestly. And it's just something that within that culture of female beauty, once the ball gets rolling, you can't stop it. Okay. And I'm telling you guys, we are still in the first inning of this game. It is exceptionally exciting where we are.
That's fascinating. I'm glad that you've brought this one to my attention so I can do some more research on it. It is kind of amazing, though, their earnings. They have, for the past 4 quarters, they have beat by double-digit percentage. 10%, 15%, 12%, 17%. And for some reason, their earnings call is expected May 2nd, and this time it's a lowered expectation. So I'm wondering what happened there. But
Dave, I think they actually just had earnings. Actually, they said May 2nd, but I think they already.
I see
Yeah,
May
said May
2nd.
2nd. Their last one was February 14th.
Okay.
It just happens every quarter, you know.
So here's the thing, Dave. They are ultra conservative with their guidance, and if you read their earnings transcripts, they basically tell you, "Hey, we know we're being ridiculously conservative with our guidance, but that's just what we do." So last year, this particular new machine that they came out with, like this new platform, they I think they estimated it would do like 24 million and it did like 48 million. Like it did double what they estimated. And they kind of knew it would, but they're just being ultra conservative with their guidance. It's a little bit annoying.
Yeah.
And it makes it really difficult to assess where they're going to be quarter to quarter. So I don't think it's a type of company where really you're going to see maybe that big of a move on the quarterly earnings, because whatever they say they're going to be, people just assume they're going to be a lot better than that. I think the important thing to look for right now, and by the way, they said that they have seen zero impact from the recession or from the economic climate, zero impact. And I think you guys know this. So like this is an area that right now is catering to the top 1%, top 2%. They could start to see some impact from it, but there's nothing more important to women.
And
nothing.
We've kind of seen that across the board. The lower income areas have impact. The higher income areas are less affected. And so super expensive beauty treatment, to me, is a little bit insensitive to the recession and overall economy.
Yeah.
So yeah,
and
I
also to AI.
Unless you start to see like wealth effect issues, right? So you see, housing crash, or you see a very severe stock market crash, but then everything's screwed, right? So
yeah.
I think what's really interesting is if you go to InMode's website, and I'm trying to find it right now, they actually have an area called Celebrity where they show you like all of the celebrities. I'm trying to find it. They show you all the celebrities. Media. Yeah, you hit patience. Go to patience at the upper left corner, Dave, and then hit media and celebrity, and then click celebrity. And you could see all this. They actually have all these celebrities that are getting this done with the Morpheus 8, and you could just scroll through them. Jessica Simpson, Bill. I mean, guys, this is the world's best marketing. This is where it starts. It's not where it ends, guys. This is real. Like I've dug deep on the impact of these machines, and they really are incredible. Absolutely incredible what they're capable of doing. Like I was a little bit skeptical when I first heard about this stuff last year, but it is wild. It's essentially the new plastic surgery.
So many different treatment options, so many opportunities to bill their patients.
Exactly.
And so sign them up for subscription, ongoing treatment.
So here's the best. If you look at that one called Evoke, Dave, it's what they call hands-free. It's a hands-free machine. So rather than having a nurse practitioner kind of going through your face like 1 inch at a time. They
Uh-huh.
actually developed the machines to go around your face or go around your neck if you're having like a neck tuck, right? And nobody needs to do anything. You just sit there for 45 minutes or however long with the machine doing what it does. Like,
It looks like you
how
just
awesome is
you
that?
put a VR goggles just around your chin, and all of a sudden your neck gets treated.
Dude, I'm telling you, dude, you have to see the before and afters on this stuff. It is insane. So I love this because I feel like this is the off-radar Ulta, right? Everybody
Yeah.
knows about Ulta. If you're in the investment world, you know about Ulta, right? If you're a fund manager, if you're a sell-side analyst, everybody knows about Ulta.
And the same thing with Elf Beauty that we talked about previously. That one is just a rocket ship that just keeps going up and up and up.
Nobody
You
knew
found something that hasn't yet been discovered.
Nobody knew about Elf Beauty when we were touting it at $7 a share, and they were, you know, at Walgreens and CVS, and Jeffree Star did his first video that got 12, 13 million views, and we're like, this is the future of skincare, like this cheap skincare. It's gonna, and here we are. It's up like 15x today. Really, no one's talking about InMode. No one's talking about Morpheus machines unless you are a 1 or 2%er female who has the financial resources to get this done. But it will get cheaper in time. And even if it doesn't get cheaper, this is the type of thing that women are going to outspend for. They will not. Remember the stat I read you earlier. They will forego spending on clothes to get this done. Okay.
Yep.
And it's only, do you not agree with me? It's only going to get worse as these filters on social make you look so good that you're just
You want to
desperate to try
recreate
to
that in
get
the
even
real
closer.
world.
Exactly. I love Jordan. I'm telling you right now, Jordan, you're going to go read the earnings transcript and you're going to research this company and you're going to come back to me in the next week and be like, Chris, I love this company.
Yeah, I'm gonna listen to it. I'm gonna pull it up and just have my headphones going for the rest of the day. Just listen to probably the last two.
But I want you to look at the fundamentals, like the actual
Yeah.
financials and the fundamentals. They are so solid. This is a cash flow machine. Okay, it actually is a cash flow machine. It's a machine that prints cash. Okay, like
yes, we have had some commenters say that basically share dilution is the main issue. They don't use gap accounting to kind of hide their share dilution, and I guess that's what you were referring to earlier with the exec comp.
It pisses me off. It really pisses me off, and I honestly wish I was a big enough investor. And I hope someone does this. I hope we get activist investors in here that put pressure on management. It's BS.
There's something for you to take out. You could be in charge of that, Chris.
Well, I wish. Can you want to loan me like
what is your position size? Just I'm just trying to figure out, like, is this like super high conviction?
I'm going to say that this is high conviction. I'm going to just put myself out there right now and say this is high conviction. Now, there are
but is this like, does this mean like 2% of your portfolio, 10% of your portfolio? What are you allocating to this?
I have like 12,000 shares in my primary portfolio, but I also bought it in my foundation. I bought it in both of my kids' college savings accounts. So like I actually sold some Novo. And I got some of this with my Novo proceeds. So, you know, it's high conviction for me, Dave, and there are risks, and I do not. The CEO is. I'm not loving the reputation of the CEO. There's some stuff that happened at his last company, where he left the company or got ousted. I don't know, and then requested the SEC approve him selling all of the shares immediately, which I think he did. I don't know. I don't like this whole equity compensation running amok. It pisses me off. But I'm not going to keep it from, I'm not going to prevent that from me investing in the company either. I feel like that's an easily fixable thing. And if enough investors complain, if enough investors kind of raise that as an issue, I think they'll listen.
All right, well, I'm going to be.
Speaking of Novo, I wanted to bring up something. I've been seeing some negative press on Novo Mainly about just the way that you lose weight on these semi-glutides. There's somebody claiming,
you're gonna say that it's lean fat?
yeah, the lean versus fat thing. And I don't know. Have you done any research? Is that true? Is that not true?
Uh,
Is it a big
I
deal? I don't even know. Right?
I saw the same thing that you probably
Yeah.
saw. I saw a video on it. I don't have the answer, Jordan, but I'm gonna kind of call BS that like I don't think it matters honestly at all. I feel like that was just like you got to really dig deep to poke holes in that therapy.
Here's
Listen,
the other. Here's
all
the
the
other thing. So it's not just. So you said a couple. You take the shots for a couple months and you start losing weight. So what I'm hearing from people that are actually taking it is you don't just start at the full dose, right? You start at a lower dose, and your body has to build up to where it can handle these higher doses, and that process can take like 6 months. But once you get to that 6 month mark, is when you really start losing weight on these things. Maybe 6, 9, however long it takes you to ramp up.
Oh no. You're definitely losing weight
No, you're
pretty
losing weight
darn
all
quickly.
the way, but like to get the real dramatic weight loss is when you get
Oh.
ramped up to the full
Yeah,
dosage levels.
yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's fair to say.
And
You're seeing the weight loss pretty quick though. So like from
Yeah.
like a feedback loop perspective, like people that are on it, like they're seeing the results and it's pretty consistent.
What I've heard is
And
that the pattern, like your patterns change pretty quickly because of the way that it makes you feel and think about food.
food,
Yeah.
yeah,
but I think
and
the fact that it does have a longer kind of ramp up period, I think is actually good for the stock rather than just one shot you're done and you lost your weight. It keeps you coming back for more. It keeps you in that subscription loop of needing to continue to buy more.
you're kind of on it for life, Dave, on and off, right? Like I think people will go off. They'll see if they can keep it off. They don't, then they go back. What I've seen a lot of is people will go off of it because to see if they feel like they're good now, and then they'll start to gain weight again, and then they'll go back on it, right? So,
Yeah.
which as an investor we love, right? Like it sounds evil, but like as an investor, a pure investor,
That's all
that's actually
we
kind of
have to filter
smart.
everything we do through the investor lens. We're not like mad scientists like hoping that people need to take more medicine, but that's how the entire pharmaceutical industry works. The reason we don't
So
have cures for so many things is because they love to produce drugs that help with symptoms but don't cure it.
So let me tell you something really important about this Morpheus machine by InMode that I love as an investor. Okay. So you spend hundreds of thousands of dollars getting this treatment, right? And it only lasts a year, guys. You got to go back in. So maybe you get a few sessions, 2 3 sessions done to your face or your neck or your belly or your butt or wherever you're doing it, right? You got to go in the following year. It lasts about a year. How amazing is that? Like, and you got to go back in and do it again. So it's kind of like temporary plastic surgery, which is like just that's phenomenal. Like that's just a recurring revenue stream because
Yeah.
it's like it would stink if you had to do it every month or every 2 months, but once a year is infrequent enough to where it's for the person getting it done. They're like, I look amazing,
Well,
and
and I
it
think
lasts
you can
a whole
market
year.
against like nightmare plastic surgery too. You can be like, well, look, this is what you're going to look like if you start doing plastic surgery after 10 years. And then you show like, I don't know, Madonna or something. And then you come back and you say, this is what, 10 years on this looks like, or, a few years on this looks like. It's like basically a risk-free way to rejuvenate your skin. Maybe. I mean, I
It,
don't know. I'm just saying
Yeah,
maybe
no,
that's the
guys,
case.
it's wild. Like the proof is in the results, right? Like just look at the results. People love these machines. It is gone. What's so amazing is the company was talking about their sales model, and they have, I think, a couple hundred salespeople, 220 salespeople. But they said that like they've been doing shows and a lot of the sales are it's inbound. Like people are coming to them going, I need to get this because they hear about it from their customers that are like, hey, Susie had this thing done. Do you guys have that machine? And, your skin doctor who also has, a wellness center, because that's how they make all their money, right? Is off of the, aesthetic stuff, not removing moles. So they all make their money on that piece of it. And they're like, okay, we got to get this machine because like we've had a dozen customers ask about it in the last month. And it's getting to a point where if you don't have it, you're not even playing in the market anymore. So I love it. I love it. They make money off selling the machine, and then they have this every time you use the machine, it's like a license fee. Like they make money every single time
in perpetuity. There's not
in perpetuity.
you never own your machine outright. You basically are making payments, revenue share with the parent company and the manufacturer of the machine.
It's awesome.
That's wild.
Dave. It's like the best. So basically, if you look at the history of medical devices, what is the company called, Jordan? Like Intuitive Surgical, like it's a monster industry. But when you think about aesthetics is just brand new. They're not considered to be like a real part of that industry yet. So it's like the redheaded stepchild of the medical device industry. But I'm telling you, these guys are best in class. It's the gold standard. And I'm at a point now where in this type of economy, when the rich are getting richer and are looking for things to spend their money on, this is where I want to be. You know what I'm saying? Like the same way that the skin doctor makes more money off of the aesthetic half of their business, right?
Yeah.
This is the future.
It's a pure play.
Right?
It's a pure play for rich people's skin and rejuvenation beauty. And you can't get a pure play anywhere else.
Yeah, full body. It's and they are moving into more traditional applications. Like I said, they're about to get FDA approval to utilize the same technology or a variation of it in a different machine that they will be selling to opticians. Can't say the word right.
Obstetrician?
Yes, for various different issues related to the eye. They have all kinds of applications, Dave, off of the RF technology. Ophthalmologist, excuse me. So there are many applications. There's many machines. They basically have the patents on this technology, and they are the leader in this sector. So it's not just skin care, but skin care alone is so big. It's just so monstrously big. We don't even know how big it is, quite honestly. Because a year from now, you could have twice as many med spas in the U.S. as you have today, right? Like, so and
I don't know if that's possible. There's already one, even in Jordan's neighborhood. There's 5 within a 2-minute drive.
It's
wild. I mean, you get and you make that a 10-minute drive, and it's outlandish.
And I just Googled the one that Megan goes to does have this machine. So that's a very small sample size, but 100% of the med spas that I'm familiar with have the machine. I do want to, so we each understood this assignment a little bit differently. Jordan came with bonds. You came with a new high-tech stock that has a shady operator history background.
Maybe shady. There's no accusations here.
Allegedly, from our comments only. And I've never even heard of the company, so I can't make any allegations. But my understanding of this is I went through my portfolio and said, okay, am I at risk? Do any of my stocks have major outsized risk in the whole AI revolution causing problems for my portfolio? And I have 2 broad categories of stocks that I would say. Technology, which I say like Apple, Amazon. I call Tesla a tech stock. And all of those, I think, are helped by AI. On the potentially concerning side, on the tech sector, Microsoft and Google are the ones that are battling out this learned language model AI right now. I don't have a strong feel for if there's going to be a winner in that space, if OpenAI is going to be the winner. Those are my kind of like questionable. But then everything else I do not feel is at all at risk because of the AI revolution. And I broadly classify those as lifestyle companies because those are the types of companies that I like to be in. So companies like TAP, Molson Coors, that's not going to be affected by AI. It could actually be helped if their distribution is turned into robots at some point, but I don't even see that as helping or hurting. Chris stole my my Novo. That was on my list of like beauty is not going to be affected by the AI revolution, and then companies like Crocs, fashion, shoes, not it's not going to be affected by the AI revolution. Now
Well,
you could have some really cool AI generated like Croc collabs that might help. Anyone can design their own Croc, but you can't replace the foam yourself. I don't think you can 3D print a Croc at home using AI
there
yet.
are a lot of AI proof sectors and companies for the most part. Like I agree,
And
fashion, beauty.
healthcare,
Um,
all the services. So your
food.
med spa machine is very much like right in between technology and a service industry. It's really the service that they're making their money from.
Yeah, totally. I think food as well, right?
Restaurants.
Food and beverage.
Yep.
But I mean that will be helped by AI. Do you know they opened up the first, or at least in our area, um, I guess fully automated McDonald's
Yeah,
in
you sent
Dallas
that
Fort Worth?
link, and in fact, it was debunked. That was actually opened months ago, and it is operated by humans. It is
How
the
many
order
humans
taking
though?
process that you can type in your order. There's not a person at the counter, but there are humans in the back making the burgers. It's not
Oh,
fully
oh,
autonomous.
well, that's ridiculous.
That was a misleading tweet that you sent me,
That's fake
and
news.
I think I
Fake
forgot
news.
to debunk it to you in person.
That was fake news, man.
Yeah, this is the tweet that you saw.
Yeah.
McDonald's just opened. It opened months ago, and even in this picture, if you look closely, there's a person right there.
Oh my gosh.
You see that?
That is
And
ridiculous.
then someone else later, and I don't know if I'll be able to pull it up here, but someone else went to that McDonald's, and oh, here it is. Yes. Oh, thank you, Twitter. Twitter's amazing. Here it is, behind the scenes at that very restaurant where they have humans back there making the food. And over here too. There they
It's
are.
just a normal McDonald's
That's
where
a
they got rid
lot
of
of
the
humans.
cashier.
I
It's a-
assumed they would have. I thought it was going to be like one human overlooking the machines that were making the
Fake
burgers.
news.
They've got to be working on that, right?
No, they do. So okay, so Middle B, which is like the super high tech kitchen innovations lab, it's actually here in Dallas, and restaurateurs from around the world travel here to see their newest machines. They told me that they're working on a machine for, I think, Burger King that can be like sitting on an island in a mall, like just, and where they
Yeah.
have those mall kiosks. And they fully figured out how to make flame broiled burgers in an electronic machine that
Yeah.
puts out no grease or anything, like captures, all the grease trappings. But it basically uses an electronic grill that captures or like takes the droppings and then sizzles them up. So basically has the same flame broiled flavor somehow without it being flame broiled. And it's
Hmm.
in a machine that they can put inside the mall, and you just hit which burger you want. It
Yeah, and it
makes the
just like
entire burger in the
squirts out a
machine.
hamburger patty and drops some toppings on it.
It's something they've been working on. I don't know that it's out in the real world yet, but it's close. So it's happening. It's
Yeah, and
definitely
we've
happening.
seen automated like pizza machines that like 3D print the pizza. We're gonna fast food is going to be even more disgusting in the future.
Or is it less disgusting? Because Dave, how often do you get your burger and it's just like not the cheese isn't melted, right? Or like
No, the biggest problem is that, like, since they're so fast, like the tomato will be on one side and like it's all out of balance. You know what I mean? Like, so you
Yeah,
don't get a
it needs
consistent
robotic
bite.
perfection.
Yeah,
Robots
I
will
would
really help out with the alignment of the
well, yeah,
tomato
they'll
and
get that
cheese.
within the little, and it'll be just perfectly spread in the mayonnaise or whatever you get. Mustard will be perfectly spread across instead of, off to the side.
I want humanoids working in fast food, if anything. That'd be awesome. By the way, Dave, someone asked, did you end up getting in on tap late or did you pass completely?
Me?
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
in. I got in right as we were talking about it. I bought options.
Oh, you bought options. Okay.
Yeah.
It's
That
been
expired
doing.
after their earnings call.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. So
Yeah.
we have some time then.
Speaking
It's
of
been doing.
earnings, Tesla's earnings are today.
Well, that's
What do you
fun.
think
They
about
dropped
that?
the price of the Model Y today, also.
Again?
Again.
Yeah.
Again, dude. Like, what do you?
Okay,
Okay.
this is not actually a surprise though, because they revealed that at Investor Day that their goal was to drop the price of all of their vehicles and make it up in volume.
Okay, that's fine, and that's a good goal, and I think that's the right long-term strategy. But what do you think is motivating that happening right now? Do you think that's just, oh, let's do this now,
No, they're
or the
trying to hit
fact that they're
numbers.
not
Like
selling cars?
this is you don't cut the price if you're making your numbers.
No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. Exactly. And so,
They're
guys,
trying to prove Elon right when he said that that their sales are their demand is outpacing their ability to produce cars. They want to be able to sell every single one that rolls off the line, and this is their way to hit the
Yeah, that's so
volume
exactly.
number.
So that at the previous price, they weren't able to do that, and so they cut the price until they can do that. And they're just trying to meet the because what they figured is that people don't really care about margin. Do they care about margins in Tesla, or do they just care about meeting these numbers?
he
A little
cares
of
a
each, but I
lot.
think they care more about how many cars are out the
Yeah,
door.
that's what I'm saying. They just care about the numbers and the delivery numbers.
I think it's a big deal, guys.
But
I think he cares a
the
lot.
margins at Tesla are so much better than every other car manufacturer. I saw this like ordered chart of like, I think Ferrari or one of those brands was number one on the margin for the cost to produce it to the price it sold, then Tesla, then everyone else, and it was a pretty big margin.
So the question is, like, I know they were at like 20%, but I think that dream is over now with this latest price drop. So
Yeah.
are they? Where's it going to end? Is it 15? Is it 10? It keeps going down.
I think eventually it
So
ends up and they're just like any other auto manufacturer. That's what I mean.
well,
But that's does it
unless
take 5 years to get there? I don't know.
if you believe Tesla and Elon, you can sometimes. They are reducing their cost of manufacturing Teslas at such a great degree over the next few years that they should be able to pick up this margin back over the next 2 to 3 years. Like the new generation assembly plants that they're going to probably retrofit into all the plants are dramatically cheaper. If you trust them, dramatically cheaper to produce the cars. So
What I'm wondering is, do they ever do the Cybertruck? Because everything that I'm reading about truck EVs is negative, right? For people that actually use trucks. Now, if you use it to just drive around like a car, maybe it's fine. But for instance, the Hummer EV, somebody took it to a supercharger, to a charger, and like they had to sit there for 45 minutes. They spent $20 and they got 60 miles of range. I think best case scenarios for some of these truck EVs is when you start to tow,
That's
you get
Hummer.
maybe like 100 miles of range tops. And so for certain applications, maybe it just doesn't make sense. So do they scrap the Cybertruck altogether? I don't know.
No,
I
they're not
agree with you.
scrapping
I'm
the
hearing that
Cybertruck.
Lightning orders are getting, the people aren't really buying Lightnings anymore.
Yeah, Jordan, you're right. No one really thought that through for the way people drive trucks, right? What they need out of trucks, it's not ideal. I think they'll just wait until they can get the numbers right on it, and they think they
Maybe.
can put out a truck that is
I mean,
not
the
gonna
problem
have.
is you just have to put in a ton more batteries, and it just takes a lot longer to charge. And so, I think being able to do a road trip with like a huge truck battery gets to be very burdensome.
So can I put out a negative thesis right now on Tesla and all of EV that
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's thought about? What if, we saw this massive adoption in EV, especially Tesla, over the past 3 years? What if there was all of that was low-hanging fruit, and there's actually a hard wall of people that are not even considering EV realistically in the next few years, and we just hit that hard wall, like, right now? What if instead of the demand curve being kind of normal, where you kind of lower price and you get more people, significantly more people. What if there were two worlds of people? People that were really excited to get an EV, and just a matter of when and which one and at what price point, and then the other half that are like, zero chance, I'm not even considering one for the next 5 years at least, for various different reasons. And the same way we have political parties where it's like, yeah, there's people that can go either way, but there's like 30% that are far left, 30% far right.
I think that's
What
fine, right? Because
exactly?
I don't think every auto manufacturer is going to get on the EV ban. Toyota, for instance, they're looking down a totally different solution. They're still on hydrogen, right? And so most of their innovation is going towards hydrogen. And so I think that's fine that you have different companies focus on different ways to solve climate issues.
But well, I'm not even talking about climate issues. I'm just talking about sales. What if
Yeah.
what if we run out of EV customers in the short term, right? Over basically based on what an EV is today, because the EV today works for some people and it really doesn't work for other people. Again, for
Yeah, if you
various
have a
reasons.
garage, right? So if you have like a single family home and you commute every day to work, and that's the 95% of your use case, I think it makes perfect sense for you.
Jordan,
Which that's a
there
lot of
are
people though, right? And so what's the
Jordan,
penetration on that?
but
But if you
Jordan,
live
there
like in an apartment complex, right? Or if you like to take a lot of road trips, then maybe it doesn't make quite as much sense.
but
Or
there
if
are
you live like in
people
a
that
townhome where you don't have a garage or an apartment or something.
don't like change.
Yeah.
There are people that just love being able to fill up their car in 60 seconds, and they don't want to wait 10 minutes. They
Yeah.
just don't. To them, that's a complete and
That's what I'm
utter
saying though. If
nightmare.
you have a garage, if you live in a single family home and you have a garage, you never have to worry about going to a gas station because you just get
But
home, you plug it in, and you forget about it.
you have to, in many cases, you have to have a certain type of plug set up in your garage, right? An outlet. Like, it's just we're going through call it a recession or something close to a recession. This could be the all I'm saying is this could be the perfect storm of us kind of tapping out of the people that were really openly interested in buying an EV in the near term future, and people that were willing to stretch to do anything that was different because they just don't want change right now. They just don't want, by the way, they don't want to finance a car period right now because interest
Well,
rates are
I
high,
think
right?
that's a
Like,
bigger issue, right? Because I think so. I was reading a stat where something like before maybe like in 2019 or maybe pre-pandemic, the number of uh, car payments that were over $1,000 was like 5%, and that number is now 17%. The average car payment is now like $700, and so
it's
that's eating into people's budgets a ton.
and someone just said, Nathan L, cold climate places will never succeed with EV. I mean, obviously it's tougher in colder climates because of the battery issues. I just think there are everyone has a different issue. It might be cold climate, it might be not having a garage, it might be because you don't like change, you're just a boomer or even a Gen Xer like us or me, and you're just
Or
like,
I
you're
tow
just
a boat, right? So I tow a boat. It's so EV is totally out of the question for me now that I've found out that the Lightning, somebody was towing the exact same boat that I have, and they got like 65 miles. I'm like, I literally can't do it. Even though
I
I've
think there
wanted
are
a Rivian, I probably won't do one because of that.
It might be the fact that interest rates are up and you're just not getting any car. It might be the
Yeah,
fact that you're Gen Z or younger millennial and you just don't drive, period. We've talked about that on this show before.
yeah.
There are like a dozen or more reasons why someone would just not even consider an EV in the next few years. And I think we get so caught up in the EV, what we've seen in the EV cycle the last 3 or 4 years, and just assume that it's not going to just fall off a cliff. What if it falls off a cliff?
Okay,
Yeah,
so
no,
that's what I'm
I think
wondering
there's
about, right? So maybe it falls off a cliff, or maybe what happens is that it's just not worth the squeeze for some of the traditional auto manufacturers, and they give up, and then Tesla ends up being the winner, or maybe like one or two of these, that are more specialized in that space. You
Yeah.
want an EV, you buy a Tesla or a Rivian. If you want
And
a
that
gas vehicle, you buy the Ford or the Chevy.
and that's why I'm a Tesla investor and not a Ford investor. And I do
Right.
think that there's something to your thesis there. And I do think there will be resistance breaking from the people who knew they wanted an EV and knew they wanted a Tesla into the people who are just like, I don't really care. And gas is so much easier because you got a gas station on every corner. It only takes 5 minutes to fill up versus 45 minutes. I can totally see that. And Jordan, your point about like, if you live in an apartment building and you don't have dedicated place to plug in, and your parking spot doesn't have a plug right next to it, you're kind of screwed. So I totally see that there is like this world where some people it's so inconvenient that it's going to be a hard sell.
Right.
But you also think about that price drop. As the price drops, once a Tesla Model 3 is lower, and Tesla's already said they were planning to drop their prices. They didn't. This is not a surprise that they've announced multiple price drops. I think they said they're going to drop them 50% or something like that. Imagine the Model 3 being cheaper than I can't even think. What is the cheapest, like Honda, right? Imagine it being 20% less. There will be a point where the price is just like such a compelling factor to a segment of the market. A segment that may have,
is it like a Civic? Is that the cheapest Honda?
and that segment of the market that would traditionally have been like, well, this is not convenient for me. It's like, oh, well, if I can save when I'm buying my low-cost car, if I can buy the lower-cost car and have to deal with, plugging it in and the one spot at my apartment complex that
that's
has
the thing, right?
EV
So
charger.
like, is the spot then clear across to the other side of your apartment complex? So do you have to walk through the rain every time? So I mean, just logistically, I think that the EV is a limiting factor, right?
Yep.
And so it doesn't mean that nobody's going to buy it. It just means that there are objections you have to overcome.
Yeah, and I totally see that, but I feel like that must be priced in to everything Tesla already, and vehicle sales are one of many aspects of how Tesla expects to take over the world. From an electrification of the world standpoint. So,
I want to, it's a little off subject, but Epic Score EU is talking about hype companies and mentioned Dutch Bros. Feels about their, we had a whole episode on Dutch Bros last year, if you guys recall.
What was Bros doing?
I'm not invested in Dutch Bros right now, but I will say this. As a consumer, I went through one a couple weeks ago, and it was the best 5 minutes of my day. It was so fun. I mean, they had music rocking, people dancing, like just the attitude, the smiles, just the conversation with kids in line. It was the best 5 minutes of my day. There is something really magical about what they have done at Dutch Bros, and I at some point I would like to get back into that company maybe, but I'm not in a rush. Have you guys gone there yet in person?
No, there's not one convenient for me. I would like to see it, but I'm not going out of my way to go to a Dutch Bro.
Dude, it's awesome, man.
Let's go back to the EV thing real quick. So Tyler Lukey just said, you all talk about EV as cars that people drive, which is a tiny story compared to transportation, boats, tractors, construction. I disagree because of the energy density issues. The weight of the batteries gets to be super cumbersome when you're talking about any sort of bus or tractor, whatever you're going to put in. It just doesn't make any sense. And also the time to refill these things. If you're trying to do these things at scale, I was like you could, like the electric companies aren't going to be able to keep up. Like, let's say you have like 30 EV buses or something like that. You can't get enough electricity into like a place to charge.
I think EV buses are a possibility. I mean, we talked about that a lot during the pandemic.
Not if you're trying to charge them all into a single location. I mean, that would you'd be drawing as much power as like a small city. I mean, it's insane.
I think that EV van delivery, like vans, buses, delivery
Again, a one-off,
vehicles.
yes, but at scale. So if you're talking like a facility that's going to be like Amazon, let's say, at one of their facilities, if they're having to charge, 100 vehicles, think about how much electricity that's going to use at one time. I just don't know if we can power that right now.
I think that is the biggest issue for EV is power. That's it. I mean, we know this. Like
Yeah.
we already know for a fact that the California standard to transition to EV is an impossibility. It cannot happen. They don't have enough. They're at 50% of what they need in power, and they cannot add enough power to get there. So we know that's going to get delayed. It's like there's zero chance that won't get delayed. That they're just going to push that down the road over and over again. It's the biggest issue we have. It's why we need nuclear power. It's why we need a lot of stuff to make this work.
Yet at the same time, we're curbing nuclear power, right? So I think Germany just got rid of their last nuclear power plant. It's, but that's a whole nother political issue that, it's this cognitive dissonance where you want everything to be electrified, but yet you're not willing to put in, the infrastructure that it would take to actually do that.
So, and I want to also comment on Pietro. He's saying the arguments like this would never have converted from the horse buggy to the gas combustion.
But you don't have to it doesn't have to be all one. Like I said, Toyota's more interested in developing out hydrogen fuel cells, right? And so I think you can spread your approaches out. It doesn't have to be all for one.
For one, I'm pro EV, and I think we're headed in that direction. It's just a matter of how quickly we get there.
I just don't think it doesn't make sense for every application. It makes perfect sense, like I said, if you live in a house and you're a commuter, you commute to work every day, you never have to go to a gas station again, and it's the perfect setup, right? But it's solved, right? I think, but if you're going to start talking about trucks and boats and all of these things, I just don't think that it's a good solution for those scenarios.
Boats are super tough based on electric.
Well, just the way, I did the math. I looked at investing in a startup, loved the startup, but just the EV portion of it didn't make sense because of the size of the battery and how much weight that would put into the boat.
Yeah, we were pitched an EV boat startup a couple of years ago. Jordan, you spent a lot of time with them.
Oh yeah, great founders. Like they're geniuses. I hated not investing, but I just couldn't get past that they were dead set on putting enormous batteries in boats.
Yeah,
but eventually boats will get there. Eventually, I can't even imagine.
Well, that's what I'm saying is that they don't have to. It doesn't have to be a battery. The battery makes sense for certain applications, but yet hydrogen fuel might make more sense, or something else that they come up with to get off of the gas or the diesel. There's other solutions out there.
Yeah. I think it's going to be.
But for the record, I'm not buying a yacht until it is quiet and does not smell like diesel.
Yeah, that's the thing. So like with a hydrogen fuel cell boat, you can fill those up super fast. The energy density makes sense. And you know what they spew out as far as their exhaust? Water. That's their exhaust, is water. Yeah. It's perfect. It's perfect for a boat.
So I'll sign up when that's ready.
Yeah.
Guys.
And if I can afford it.
We'll be back on Friday, right? We have a new type of episode I'm looking forward to on Friday.
Well, let's tell them. We want to answer your questions. So what's the best way to get in touch with us? Should we have them post questions to our @dumbmoneytv on Twitter, or?
Yeah, I think. I think we have to have a topic, right? So.
No, it's just anything you want. Like, how do I get started as an investor? Would be just a fine question.
Yeah. I think we want to have a full just Q&A show where we have some time to really think about thoughtful answers to your guys' questions. So, yeah, you could DM them to us. You can put them in Discord. It'd be awesome if any of the mods are watching today. If we can maybe open up just a question.
There's already a Today's Show category in there, so go to Today's Show and post just questions that you think that you want to know the answer to, that you think would be helpful to other people. Because I think that, you know, we can talk all day, but we'd like to get a little closer to what you're interested in. What do you want to know about?
Yeah, guys, we've been, for those of y'all that are new here, I don't think there's many that are new today, but
and I would
we've
say
been doing this.
probably not like specific, hey, what do you think about Dutch Bros? But more general, like, what do you think of, like, the thought process behind investing, the thought process behind something that we've done, not like, give me an update on this particular stock.
Yeah, because this is all I've been thinking about for 30 years, guys, is just investing and money and budgeting and finance. And, well, Jordan just thinks about macroeconomics 24 hours a day. So
I'm depressed 24 hours a day.
yeah. So and we rarely get to share any of that. We rarely get to share any of that knowledge on the show because the show is so focused on surfacing investment opportunities right now, today. But we would love to share more just in general investment knowledge with you guys. So, you know, please, you know, shoot us your questions, and Friday will be our first Q&A show.
Tweeting them at Dumb Money TV would be a good way if you're not in Discord. And if you are not in Discord, this is a good time to remind you that it is free. It is easy. Anyone can sign up. We never ask for money. Go to dumbmoney.tv/Discord, and you can become a part of the community there. Tweet at us at Dumb Money TV, and we're going to look for questions. Good questions that are not like, hey, tell me about this stock.
Yes. We'll see
Oh,
you
and I wanted to
Friday.
apologize to Tyler. I wasn't trying to pick on you specifically. I have, you know, I think there's EV, you know, and there's other ways to do things too. So, but didn't mean to totally pick on you.
That's all right. I'm picking on him.
I did.
All right.
Just stop picking on him, Jordan.
So sorry. So sorry. It's so unlike me.
All right. That's going to do it for this one. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. On your way out, if you haven't already, smash the like button. Please do that. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe. And we will see you back here on Friday.